But he was not just a mere king, you see. He was a Devi Bhakta and an Anshavatara, and his mother was also an Anshavatara. What is the sign of an Anshavatara is that they have extra powers over themselves and over others, and they have no temptations, no mistakes. No. So first of all, we should know that Shivaji himself was a divine person in the sense that he had no defects in him. He was a detached person. I don't want to tell you the whole history about him, but his character, if you study, you'll be amazed how detached he was. He was not fond of women. He never hankered after them. And on the contrary, respected women very much. There's a story that once he was presented with the daughter-in-law of a great Nawab, because the people used to do where you attack the people hiding from behind. So this great king Shivaji was a man without any temptation for women, and once he was presented with a very beautiful lady who was the daughter-in-law of a big Nawab, because they looted lot of money and lot of precious things, and this lady as well, when her caravan was passing through some passage in the mountains. So Shivaji looked at her. He asked her to remove her veil because she was a Muslim lady. And then looking at her, he said that if my mother was as beautiful as you are, I would have been equally beautiful. It's the best way to say that you are my sister. He himself had to marry 4 times because of certain problems of political nature, where he had to marry 4 women. But he married them because he had to marry, and all the 4 wives were his wife, and no other woman came into his head. This is such a tremendous character. This is first sign of a personality who is really mature, who has no attention towards another woman, which is very common. In Maharashtra, it's not difficult. For them, they don't understand what I'm talking about. This is one of the things one has to understand, how respectful he was to other women, that he gave away all her things, all her money, all her jewelry, all that was looted of that Nawab also, all the arms, everything, and sent back all the people to the Nawab. Because if there's a lady, she's the Shakti, she's traveling, so nobody has business to trouble her. This was his respect for a woman who belonged actually to another party. He had so many qualities that it's impossible to describe all that, but absolutely honest he was, and he lived like a saint. He didn't care for comfort. If you go and see his things that he had, you'll be amazed. He could sleep on the stones. But for his kingship, he had to wear all the ornaments, all the dresses which he used to wear. If you go in Bombay Museum, you'll see the chilkhat, we call it, a cover made out of iron mesh. He used to wear that. It's so heavy that you can't lift it. But he had to wear it, and he used to fight his wars wearing that. But like all other kings you see in the West, he didn't have weaknesses. He had no weakness, he had no habits, extremely honest, Spartan in temperament, and absolute ideal king he was, an absolute ideal king. He talked to everyone on the same level, treated everybody with respect, never showed off that he was a king, but he kept his dignity all the time. And when it was needed to be corrected, with all courage, he corrected people. He did not care for cheap popularity either. Such a man was a blessing to Maharashtra, because he is such an ideal for us and for people to follow. And his mother was a great lady who brought him out of the clutches of the Mughal people who tried to convert forcibly Hindus to Islam. Like this Aurangzeb, he used to hate music and he would kill a very right-sided fellow. Every year, the Brahmins, so many Brahmins, that the thread they used to wear should weigh according to his body weight. So you can imagine what a cruel man he was. He was like Hitler only. But he was also very honest in the sense he used to make his own caps and sell them and live on that money. He was very right-sided. He was honest as far as the money was concerned, the government money was concerned. But he was so fanatically imprisoned in his own ideas about God that he had become just like a Rakshasa. To face him was very difficult in those days. He was a terror. Nobody could face Hitler from inside. But Shivaji managed it, and he did it so well. So Satara is a place where he established his first kingdom. This is the capital of Maharashtra, Satara. That's why it's a very important place. Secondly, after Shivaji, or when Shivaji was the king looking after the whole worldly affairs, his own son fell into a bad company of a fellow who came from Uttar Pradesh called Kabji Kalusha, who started drinking and doing all wrong things that should not be done. He was imprisoned, but even then he was a very, very lost case, but a good-hearted fellow. That is why this Maharashtra was divided into two, and his younger brother had to form another kingdom, or another part of the capital was in Kolhapur, where you saw Sambhaji's, I think you have seen Shahu Maharaj's statue there. So he was a very dharmic fellow, very good person, and he looked after that part very well. So Kolhapur started another capital. But what I am trying to say, that when negativity starts crawling into something great, then it starts getting devoid. So it's a very good example of understanding how Shivaji worked hard, fought Aurangzeb, established his kingdom, and how it was lost in second generation itself. शिवाजी महाराजांच्या बद्दल सांगत होते, कारण साताऱ्याला राजधानी स्थापन केली होती. ते त्यांच्यात जे गुण होते ते आपण घेतले पाहिजे. त्यांच्यातला विशेष गुण असा होता की त्यांच्यात कोणतेच दोष नव्हते. जे आपल्या माणसामध्ये दोष असतात, कोणाला कशाची सवय, कोणाला कशाची लत, कोणाला काहीतरी वेड्यासारखे एखाद्याच्या मागे लागले तर लागले. त्याच्यावर हे सिद्ध होतं की ते अंशावतार होते. अंशावतार असल्यामुळे त्यांना कोणतीच वाईट सवय, वाईट खोड, खोटं बोलणं, दारू पिणं वगैरे असं म्हणजे त्यांना सांगावं लागत नसे, ते तसे नव्हते. दुसरं अत्यंत स्वभावानी गोड होते. स्वभाव फार गोड होता, अत्यंत गोड स्वभावाचे, आणि आईला पूर्णपणे समर्पित होते. कधीही त्यांनी कुणाला वाकडा शब्द बोलला नाही किंवा कुणावर ओरडले नाहीत, कुणावर बिघडले नाही. हे दोन गुण फार कठीण असतात. जेव्हा मनुष्याला इतकं आईचं वरदान असतं आणि इतकंच नव्हे, त्या वरदानामध्ये एक महत्वही येतं, कारण ते महाराज होते, पण तरी सुद्धा स्वभावामध्ये अत्यंत गोडवेपणा होता आणि स्वतःबद्दल शिष्टपणा नव्हता की मी राजा आहे आणि हे गोरगरीब आहेत किंवा हे मावळे आहेत त्यांच्याशी कसं बोलायचं. त्यांच्याबरोबर बसायचं, त्यांच्यावर भाकरी खायची, कांदा भाकरी त्यांच्यावर मजेत खात असत. रात्रंदिवस प्रवास करायचे घोड्यावर, कुठेही रात्रीचं झोपायचं, काही करायचं. अशा रीतीने त्यांनी आपलं आयुष्य काढलं आणि अत्यंत हाल अपेष्टा त्यांनी सहन केल्या. आणि त्याच्यानंतर जेव्हा संभाजी महाराज आणि शाहू महाराजांचं भांडण झालं, त्याला कारण एकच होतं, भाऊ जे लोक परमेश्वराच्या कार्यात आहेत त्यांना सगळ्यांना जोडून असलं पाहिजे, तोडलं नाही पाहिजे, तोडून बोलायचं नसतं. शिवाजी महाराजांची प्रथा अशी नव्हती. ज्यांनी काही कार्य केलं त्याचं केवढं महत्व करत असत.